Good day. We're going to look at the solution now to number 10 on page 20 of practice 2. That's practice 2 in ma1026 work. That's book 1. So number 10, this is on page 20 in book 1. Okay? So we're given a situation where we have to find the coordinates of the endpoint x, y. Or s, which is xy. So this is s right here, x comma y. So we have an endpoint here, and we're given the other endpoint r, and r is down here at 1, -3. So this segment's already sketched for you, which is wonderful. And 5, 1 is the midpoint. So we've already looked at questions where we're given the two endpoints and have to find the midpoint. Now this one is different, where you have a midpoint and an endpoint of a segment, and you have to find the other endpoint. So we're looking to find the other endpoint, S. Now we know the midpoint formula is involved algebraically. So to do it algebraically, we must use this formula. To do it visually, of course, we can do it directly from the graph. So let's look at the answer directly from the graph. So you can always graph these on a grid, a proper piece of graph paper, and read the answer from the grid. For example, I can tell you right now by looking at S, right, that the x coordinate of S, I would come down here to 9. So x would be 9, and I go across and I can read 5 on the y coordinate. So I know the answer for S is 9, 5. However, you're also at times asked to do it without graph paper, and this is when you do it algebraically with the midpoint formula. Now we do know the coordinate of the midpoint. The x coordinate is 5. That means this equals 5. Okay, so that equals 5. We know that the y coordinate, right, is 1. So we do know that the y coordinate of the midpoint is 1. And of course that's this one over here. This has to equal 1. So that's basically what we do. We just use midpoint formula, pieces of it, one or x coordinate first, then the y coordinate. So we're trying to find the x coordinate, right, of an endpoint, and we just use x1 plus x2 over 2, but we know that's equal to 5. We already know that the coordinate of the midpoint, the x coordinate, is 5. So if I use the other values and just plug them in the formula, then you'll find it very quickly. So in other words, I'll call this x, x1, I'll call 1 here x2, and substituting those, I just got, right, x plus 1 all over 2 equals 5. Now the 5 is understood to be over 1, so this is just straight cross multiplication. X plus 1 equals 2 times 5, which is 10. Now subtract 1 from each side, and we would get 9 for the x coordinate, which we already knew reading it from the graph. So S now, which has coordinates, the endpoint S, which has coordinates x, y, we now know the x coordinate is 9. And to complete our solution, we need to find the y coordinate. Now the y coordinate is found of the endpoint by using the midpoint formula portion, the y portion of that. Now what's that equal to? That's equal to 1. And again, using this y as y1, -3 would be y2. Substituting it in, I have y plus -3 divided by 2 equals 1. Cross multiplying once again. 2 times 1 is 2. Right, bring the 3 to the other side, which means we're going to add 3. So the y coordinate of the other endpoint is 5. So as you can see, y here is now 5. So that's two ways actually to look at finding the endpoint given the midpoint and the other endpoint. And your final solution here is S as coordinates 9, 5.